Hello, everybody. Today I'm bringing you this topic, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm bringing you this topic is because I had a client that came in. She was a walk in, she had never been to me before, and she asked me about cutting her hair. Her hair was shoulder length. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm thinking that maybe she wanted, above her shoulders up to her, her chin length or something like that. So proceed to continue on having a consultation with her. So I asked her, I said, show me the picture that you want and how you want it cut. So she shows me the picture, and the picture I seen was like super short. So I'm saying like, okay, so you want it short, short. So I proceed to start cutting, conversation, and next thing I hear is, and I'm like, okay, is everything okay? So I continue to cut some more, and now I hear her really breaking down, crying. So I'm like, oh my God, is this is what you wanted, right? Correct? And she was like, yes. She said, I just feel free. I feel free. I feel liberated now. And because the problem is that she was going through a bad breakup in her time at that moment. And for her, that changed the course of what she was wanted to do, of how it made her feel liberated from that relationship. And I know, as all of us as women, we have been there. I have been there. I've been through relationships way, 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 way back in the past where my hair was super long. And in order for me to feel free out of that relationship, I completely cut my hair off. But then, as I grew older and I became wiser, I learned my worth. And I knew that that wasn't going to set me free. By me knowing my worth was going to set me free. And that's just what I told her. When you start knowing your worth, you'll stop cutting your hair for other people and start cutting your hair because you want it. So what I did, I sat down with a couple of people, females, and asked them, how did her hair define them? What energy did it bring to them? How did their spouse feel about the hair? What about their culture? What does a job thinks about with their hair? So these are the couple of things that I asked them, and I'm going to bring these interviews to you so you can hear from them. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just how they feel about it. So you like to hear how they felt? Just stay tuned, and I'll see you at the end.
What does good hair versus bad hair mean to me? There's no such thing. Good hair, bad hair, it's all hair. For me, my hair is this, as you can see, this is my texture. So I mean, I'm going to work with what I have to work with, but unfortunately, society has made black females and black men think that this texture, whatever it is, if it's kinkier, if it's longer or more wavier, as long as if it's not straight, it's not correct. And unfortunately, that's not right. So, I mean, it's all hair. So, I mean, hey, everyone has their own opinion about their hair, but that means it's just hair. No good, no bad, no characteristic unless you want to give it a characteristic because it's personally about your own hair. But of course, we just got to try and break from that unfortunate stereotype that we all have pigeon-toed ourselves into. Energy connects me to my hair. I'm gonna have to say my grandmother because I definitely found out that all my genes and the way I look, my skin tone, most likely this texture, even though her hair is a little bit more silkier, if I can remember, or a lot more curlier. Um, I know I got this texture because of her. My father definitely, he also has curly hair, but I know it all originated from her and all her siblings and my great grandparents. My grandmother is mixed, but it is it is what it is. But she is mixed, and I do have a connection because of my grandmother. Of course, I've had through the years said, "Oh, you have such nice hair, good hair, it's all long." Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful, thank God, I'm blessed for it. But really, it's because of my family, my heritage. Okay, so what does my hair to mean as a culture in the Black or African American society? Uh, Basically, what it means to me is that if I can take care of it, I can. It's more so about when I think about consumer versus the supplier. A lot of people are in the wave of natural hair. So that's great. I'm hoping that we're, staying away from straightening our hair, which is very damaging, especially over the years. And actually, I've been wearing my hair for the last, I'd say, I think like 9 months. It's been in this state. Well, and when I mean by natural state, water gets on it. I stick with whatever pattern I'm gonna, pretty much come up with. I will of course put product in it to try to keep it control, but it is what it is. But I noticed that it's going to be harder for men and female, black and that nature, to take care of their hair because the supplier doesn't really give what we need. So, for instance, if you're pressing out your hair, it's going to be millions of products, millions of brushes and combs that will be so easy to take care of your hair. Because normally you just comb it, boom, put in the bun, whatever you do, whatever your regimen is at night. But for wearing your hair in a natural state, it's a little harder. There's a lot more. There aren't as many products, at least that aren't working for me. I'm still, trial and error. Trial and error is nothing but a trial and error. But I'm still always trial and erroring, and I think it's because the supply isn't going to always deal with that because society is dictating that your hair shouldn't look like this. Not at all. So do I think hair equals beauty? That's a loaded question. I would have to say yes for me personally. Universally, no, of course not, because you can see every model. I mean, I can't believe one actress, I think Lupita, who was in, of course, Black Panther, the latest movie. Her hair has either been cut off, shaved off, short, and she is still extremely gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I mean, but for me, if I shaved my hair, my head would be pretty bulbous. But again, universally, no. For me, yes. Because again, it's an extension of my heritage because I know the way I am and the why I look like this is because of my grandmother. How does my husband feel about my hair versus natural versus pressed out? Uh, Thankfully, my husband he just goes with the flow. I remember when I first met him because we've been together for at least 8 years, going on 9, married for now 1.5. He always would sometimes tell me, "Oh, make sure you go to the Dominicans just for this night to have your hair pressed out." I have been wearing my hair naturally for 9 months, and he's fine with it. He doesn't have an issue with it. He has complimented me every time I come from the beautician about my curls and how nice they look. So thankfully, he likes it. What do I consider a work appropriate hairstyle? I'm a physician assistant. I primarily for neurosurgery. We do surgeries at a hospital, and then I also see patients in clinics. So of course, I'm dressing professionally, and of course, and clothing, and then also scrubs at the hospital. So honestly, after you get that position, once they've told you, or if you have a contract signed, or they've told you that you're hired, it doesn't matter. As long as, if for my position, your hair is up in a nice bun to keep out of the surgical procedure. But in the clinic, my hair is any way I want it to be. If I want it to be pressed, sure. If I want it to be like this, and it has been, I will. If I want it to be in a mohawk, I'm still doing it. Honestly, it's all about getting through the interview process. Now, I would say that if you are interviewing, if it's pressed or if it's in this state or whatever state your hair goes in, and when it's wet, always put it in a bun, high bun or low bun. But because I have seen, like, I don't know if anyone remembers really good hair, but some females, even black females, thought that it was inappropriate not to wear your hair, well, not so much in a bun, but straight. I don't remember them really touching on a bun, but I mean, it's just universal. Always wear a bun. But they seemed to be very judgmental that if you wear your hair like this, anything you said after, they probably weren't going to listen or even give you the second interview. But again, once you get through that interview process, who cares? As long as you're doing your job, doing it well, and then you're taking certain risk factors like I am when I'm doing surgery, because of course, no hair in the surgical site. But again, it does not matter. Get through the interview, rock your hair any way you want.
What does my hair mean to me? My hair is like an extension of who I am. So if my hair is good, it directly relates to my self-esteem. I feel good. Um, It allows me to show my personality, whether I change it to have braids or I put in some weave. It all is an extension of who I am inwardly coming outwardly. It means to me when someone says good hair versus bad hair. So really they're talking about your texture. So, is it long versus short? Is it nappy, quote unquote, versus being that good silky grade of hair? That's what it means to me. What type of energy does my hair bring for me? So for me, it's like a sense of positivity. It's like the icing on the cake. So I can do everything I can in the morning to get ready, find the outfit, find the makeup, find the jewelry. But then my hair, it's always that last step because it's the icing on the cake. So it brings that positivity into my day. Today we're going to be a top knot, or today we're going to be loose curls. My hair mean to my culture? So for my culture, I'm not going to say it's everything, but it's so important. So if we think back to the time before, we were brought to America, it was a way in which we expressed ourselves. Even when we were in America and the time when we began to experiment and people created ways to tame our natural hair and to do different styles, it was just a way that we all expressed ourselves in one way or another. So even when people didn't have a lot, they learned how to braid, they learned how to cornrow, and that's how they showed their individuality. Changed the experience that wanted me to change my hair, and why? I did. So it sounds cliche, but like a lot of different women, it was a breakup. And the breakup was that moment where it was like, I'm just going to do something different. Especially because, in that relationship, you try to please your other partner. So they say, I like your hair this way, I like your hair that way. But when that relationship ended, it was like, I'm going to go all the way left. I'm going to do everything he may have wanted me to and I didn't do, or everything I didn't do because he did not want me to do. I decided to do it right then and there. Do I think hair equals beauty, and why? I'm going to say no. So it enhances our beauty, but it doesn't define us. We use it as a way to define our individuality, but even without hair, black is beautiful. So even if we were bald, we would still look great, but it's just a way in which we enhance our beauty. What do I consider an appropriate style when it comes to the work industry? So, personally, I think any style is appropriate. But in the society in which we live, they try to dictate a Eurocentric way in which we should wear our hair. So, that's why a lot of us push to have relaxers in our hair. We have our hair pressed. But I believe that any style can be appropriate for the workplace. You just have to pick the right workplace to be in. How do I feel about my hair, and does it define me as a woman? So I said yes, my hair does define me as a woman. I do think it makes me womanly. I think as I've gotten older, kind of that idea that my hair has to be long and be a certain way has changed. But the idea of taking care in my hair and having that self-care, that is something that I feel makes me a woman. Not that men don't, but I think that makes us unique as women. My spouse feel about my hair and when I wear it different ways. So ultimately he preferred that I would just wear it natural, but he doesn't realize how much work it is. So, he always compliments whatever style I decide to go with, but he'd like to see me as natural as possible. But for me, I like to switch it up, and he appreciates any style that I actually wear.
Now, you heard their interview and you heard what their opinion was. So my question is to you. How does your hair define you? How does it make you feel as a woman? Just like India Irie said, I am not my hair. But that on a biblical sense, Samson, hair was his strength. So everybody has their diversions of what hair means to them. Does it make a difference if you were short, long, bald, curly, straight? Like, how does it define you as a person? Sit back and ask yourself these things and see what kind of answers that you come up with. Thank you again for tuning in with Hair Talk with J. Marie. I appreciate you watching. If you're watching me on Facebook, don't forget to go like my page at Hair Talk with J. Marie and hit like. If you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you want to comment below, please comment below and let me know what do you think about this topic and how you feel. And if you have any questions about anything that you want to ask me, please feel free. Just comment down below. Again, thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Let's talk about hair. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about hair. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about all the good